Hey guys, in today's video, Maya and I are grabbing breakfast, and as I was sitting here, I was looking in the Expat forum group, and I saw a foreigner asking for donations, or a loan rather, so he could pay his rent that's due. Anyway, let's discuss this and a little bit more. Stick around. Okay guys, so I was having breakfast and coffee this morning and looking through the posts on some of the expat groups like I normally do. Sometimes I get inspiration from some of these posts. Well, I came across one today that is not all that unusual, to be honest, and I will flash it up on the screen here. It only lasted about 1 hour, maybe even 30 minutes online, and the guy was kind of attacked with no surprise there, you know, but he basically states, "Hello, I really need some kindness right now. I don't have any family to ask. My rent is due today." Not like waiting to the last moment, you know. "Can anyone please loan me some money? I have an ID and a bank account in good standing to prove I'll pay you back, or PayPal is quicker. I can accept any amount. Thank you." So it sounds like he's saying that you could send him money on PayPal or through his bank account. Now, again, he was attacked pretty quickly in the expat group. These expat groups can be pretty vicious sometimes. Even just guys asking for advice, they get kind of beaten down. These expat groups sometimes is not a great way to make friends, unfortunately. Some of them are a bunch of disgruntled expats. Now, I'm not going to show the guy's name, and I'm not going to tell you which expat group. I don't want to embarrass the guy. I don't know what the situation is, so I don't know if it was some major emergency, he just ran out of money, or bad money planning, or all the above. I mean, who knows? But I was talking to my friends about this, and my one friend mentioned and said something that makes a lot of sense and kind of struck a chord with me. And he said, a lot of these guys, I think, just come here and think to themselves, well, I'll figure out the finances once I get here. In other words, you know, you look at a guy like the Expat John, who's on Paul's channel, who said, okay, I have this much money at this much a month, it'll last me till this date, and he figured he'll start teaching online. Well, this guy probably had something similar, you know. He probably said, okay, I'll get here, I've got enough to live for 6 months or so, and then I'll figure things out. I'll try to get a job, maybe at a dive shop, teaching diving, or what have you, online, or anything. And so I think I talked to a lot of guys who actually think this is a good idea. They say to themselves, you know what, I have this amount of money, I should be fine. I should be able to find something. I should be able to find some work or figure things out along the way. And that is just really the worst thing possible to do. And a lot of these guys, they really get to a point where they can't even go back to their home country. Maybe they have no family, they've got nobody to stay with. The amount of money to get a plane ticket back home, to get a hotel room, transportation, food, it almost makes more sense just to stay put and try to figure things out. Once you've already gotten here, once you've given up your life in the West, you almost become stuck. And then what happens is you start falling further behind. Okay, you know, maybe he gets an extension from the landlord. The landlord's kind enough and says, okay, I'll give you 2 weeks. Well, then he falls behind, and now all of a sudden he's 2 months behind on rent. Now he hasn't extended his visa, and he's 2 months behind on rent. And you know, once you get put out on the streets here, you're kind of screwed. There's not really a support group here. There's not really a homeless shelter, a soup kitchen, or anything like that you can really go to. You're just kind of stuck out onto the street, and you're begging for food, like the video I did with the 2 homeless expats, which, believe it or not, I have not seen since I did that video. I keep looking for them, so hopefully I will find them one of these days. Now, another thing is that it really does pay to have a good, tight tight-knit group of friends that you could fall back onto if you had to. You know, like some really good buddies that if something happens, you know, maybe they'll let you stay in an extra room in their place or give you a few thousand pesos till your money comes in, you know. So I have gotten to the point where I've gotten myself a very small circle of friends, but very close-knit, and we all could kind of fall back on each other if we had to. Again, even that's not a good idea, but at least if you had to, you could. And a lot of foreigners do end up getting into these tight-knit little groups. It actually kind of reminds me of high school here sometimes, where you got these small little cliques going with foreigners. Like you got this group over here who are the guys who hang out at the bar and drink on a Sunday afternoon or on a morning or afternoon. You got these other guys who hang out and do the coffee. You got these other guys who hang out and they go do diving together, and just there's these different little cliques, and it's based on depending what country you're from or what activity you like to do or who you know. And so Dumaguete in particular does have these little cliques of foreigners, these little different groups. So you can get some good close friends here, but again, sometimes the foreigners are worse than the Filipinos as far as having any problems or gossip. Sometimes the problems come more from the foreigners than they do ever a Filipino. So it all goes back to preparing yourself. And for me, I didn't have a pension yet. I did dump money into 401k. I hadn't planned on touching that till 59 and a half. I do have Social Security that I can fall back on at age 62. But immediately, I had a job that paid the bills in Cebu. And I also had a second job that I was doing teaching online. So I had a second source. And moving overseas, I had always told myself I need two sources because there is no unemployment or anything here. Not like the States. If you got laid off from your job or whatever, you could collect unemployment. You got more of a support system. Well, here you don't have that. And if you aren't retirement age and you don't have a pension yet, you really need to have a few sources of income. And fast forward to today, I have that same philosophy: multiple sources of income in case one dries up. So the guys who have a pension, those are a steady monthly income that is not going to stop, like military retirement, military disability, a pension from a job. These are the guys that really have no excuses. These are the guys where you need to have set a savings aside for a medical emergency, or get yourself medical insurance or travel medical insurance. There's a link down below for the one I use. And prepare for the unexpected. Something always happens. More foreigners, most of them are just traveling, or not even just traveling, but I think just in the last week I've actually known 3 foreigners who've gotten dengue fever and ended up in the hospital with just some horrible symptoms. And that is the one reason I say don't travel without the travel medical insurance. Again, link in the description. Or if you're going to live here permanently, you probably want to get insurance as well, regular insurance, or at least have a big nest egg so you can fall back on in case of an emergency. So anyway, this is just food for thought. I see these kind of posts all the time. And you really kind of need to prepare for things like this. You don't want to be the guy who's advertising in an expat group that you're out of money and you need somebody's help. And this guy posted that the rent is due today, and he literally posted it today, and he literally got beat up in the comments. People were saying, contact your embassy, go home. How is this my responsibility? you should have been better prepared. I mean, people were just chastising him, and the guy never explained why or what happened, so I don't want to speak ill of the guy, but I still think most of us can really prepare so these type of things don't happen. So anyway, Maya and I are going to enjoy the rest of our Friday. Believe it or not, they canceled school all over because of the typhoon hitting, and we wake up this morning and it's sunny and blue skies, and it still is. And yesterday they had school, but it was raining like crazy all day. So just so you know, they can't tell weather here in the Philippines. No different than when I was living in the US, they could never accurately predict any weather as well, so nothing's changed there. Anyway guys, thank you so much for watching. Questions, comments, as usual, I'll hear them and see them down below, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.